Did you guys know that right now, currently, Arizona is the best place? Well, that's subjective, but almost or one of the best places to become a millionaire. Did you know that? One of the best states, one of the best places to become a millionaire if that's what you would like to do. Not that it's easy to all of a sudden become a millionaire, but we're going to lead with this story, guys, because it is actually a pretty cool one. Most people would love to make a lot of money, and Arizona is one of those environments, one of those few environments now in America that really gives you the support from a standpoint of population growth, opportunity with certain businesses and small businesses and the creations of them. I mean, did you know in Arizona to create an LLC literally costs $85 and it can be done instantaneously? Like you click a button, it's approved. There's no publishing articles. There's no committee to for it to go through, and it's approved, right? So you can create small businesses and entities quickly, very friendly from that standpoint. And the corporate tax structure in Arizona is also very good. Did you also know that the income tax in Arizona now, starting January 1st of 2023, is a flat tax? 2.5%, guys. It is the lowest state income tax rate in the country for a state or any state that charges actually an income tax. Obviously, you can't beat zero, right? We have some states that are zero, so those are good. But if you're looking for the next best thing, it's Arizona, and so that's why you have so many people that are becoming millionaires over the last couple of years in the state of Arizona. We have some stats here for you on that we're going to share that I have right here. However, before I go any further, if you don't mind, leave a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to know more about you if you want to divulge, and where you're calling or where you're watching from, and comment, please. Let's get a two-way conversation going. If you have any questions or comments about anything we're talking about here today, contrary to popular belief, I don't know it all. So you might have specific knowledge on something about Arizona that's valuable to our audience as well, guys. So thank you very much, as always, for participating. But back to the millionaire story. Here's the stats on this, guys, and it's quite interesting, I should say. The number of Arizona tax filers who started making over $1 million between 2015 and 2020, 4,240. So 4,240 millionaires were created in the state of Arizona for those 5 years between 2015 and 2020. Arizona saw a 72% jump in millionaires between those 5 years. That is incredible, guys. And it goes on to talk about some of the most friendly states where most of the millionaires in America are being created. Not that, you're just luckily selected. It's a lot of hard work, right? But where they are living or residing or choosing to have their business. And you're looking at states like Idaho saw 125% increase, Utah 107% increase. And those states are very friendly when it comes to small businesses, guys. So it's pretty crazy in terms of the thousands of new millionaires that are being created right here in the state of Arizona, guys. So kudos to all you guys who are doing that and doing big things. Small business owners, we love you. Our economy in Arizona or anywhere for that matter couldn't function without you guys. So really, really appreciate you running those small businesses and taking the risk on running those small businesses, because it's not all roses and rainbows and fuzzy cats and sunshine, right? We know that. So really, really cool aspect from that standpoint. Hey, what's up, Mark? Mark is checking in from Phoenix. Thanks for watching our show today. Really appreciate you. And Brittany from Colorado, thanks for watching our live. Really appreciate you guys and all the support. We're going to keep dropping the value. Your time is precious. I know it. So we're going to keep, I talk fast as it is, guys. So I can go, but I'll slow down a little bit to make sure you can at least understand what I'm saying, hopefully. All right. So let's see. So it's a 72% increase of the millionaires. And between 2019 and 2020, more condensed stat, you had a 16.3% increase in the amount of people who filed taxes that made over $1 million. So congratulations to everybody in the state of Arizona who is doing that. All right, a few more things I have here for you before we jump into some market updates. Guys, we have all kinds of fun stuff today. We're going to discuss water situation in the West Valley, specifically for Arizona. We're going to discuss, let's see a little preview here. We're going to discuss a cool hotel that's coming. Actually, I should say a condo community that's coming to downtown that's super modern in terms of its design. We're going to discuss the Super Bowl, guys. When is that coming? Oh, in like a week and a half. Yeah. So we're going to discuss that. Get ready for that. And we're going to discuss mortgage rates. Yesterday, there was a small little announcement that was made by you know who, the Federal Reserve, our wonderful Federal Reserve, and they actually increased the federal funds rate by 25 basis points. Guys, that's the super cool way to say 0.25% of 1 percentage point increase, right? That's just the fun way to say it, basis points. I don't know where they came up with that, but maybe we'll address that on our next YouTube Live, right? All right, so stay tuned. This is cool for all you people who have kids. You know the toy manufacturer Funko Pop or Funko. I have 3 kids, guys, so I know about this. But toys are big business. Well, Funko actually just recently brought their operations over to Buckeye, Arizona, here in the state of Arizona, and they did a 10-year lease in Buckeye. And the main reason why they did that is for the easy access to the ports, because obviously they get a lot of their shipping and manufacturing from China, right? So toys, I know, coming from China, we got to get some of the manufacturing back in Arizona, especially, but the U.S. overall. And I think we're seeing that, right, due to the whole post-COVID changes that's going on in the world. So that is a good thing, I think, to bring some of that manufacturing back to the United States. But Funko is doing the facility in the West Valley. The joke is made, guys. If you live in the West Valley, right, Phoenix is so spread out. If you live in the West Valley, you're halfway to LA, right? I mean, you're almost there, right? So it's very, very cheap compared to other states and other parts of major metropolises, right, across the country, and it's close to the ports of California, LA, Long Beach, etc. So that makes a lot of sense. But that is a big business. I mean, we're talking a huge facility that they have leased out, and they expect to hire 300 new people. So that is awesome. 300 new jobs for Funko, the toy manufacturer. And then the last thing I want to hit real quick before I share my screen is Caesars Republic. Okay, so Caesars Republic Hotel. It's not going to be a casino. I know, but it's going to be right in the heart of Old Town Scottsdale, right by the Scottsdale Fashion Square Mall, which is one of the best malls in the entire country, guys, in Old Town Scottsdale. Caesars Republic Caesars Scottsdale Republic is technically what it's called. It's going to be, I think, like 14 stories tall, and level 7 is going to have an amazing deck pool that overlooks Camelback Mountain, and they will have a quote unquote sports book, if you will, right, on floor 7 of that hotel, so people can still get their gaming fixes, because obviously sports betting is legal in most states across the country. In Arizona, it is legal, and so if you have DraftKings or if you have whatever you have, right, for your sports betting, it's going to be available right there at the Caesars Scottsdale Republic Hotel, and that's set to open in 2024, guys. It's awesome, all glass, super modern. They're leveraging the Caesars name big time here, right? Because Caesars does have a part in this hotel development, which is awesome. Okay, now I'm going to share my screen, guys. We are going to jump in with a little market update, because what the heck is going on with the market? Let me share my screen here, guys, and we'll dive in here, because it continues to rally, right? Now, rally in the sense of, oh my goodness, we're having all this appreciation. No, that's not going to happen probably for maybe quite some time. But it continues to rally in terms of demand. Now, this is not surprising. It shouldn't be terribly surprising, because Arizona has a typical seasonal market, and we're in the middle of the upswing of that typical seasonal market. But if you look at this commentary right here from the Cromford Report, guys, as you know, we love the Cromford Report. They have the most up-to-date, minuscule micro data that you could possibly get for the Phoenix housing market. And so right here it says, for the single-family detached market, all but 7 zip codes showed an increase in listings under contract, meaning they obviously went pending over the last month. A few lucky areas more than doubled. These areas right here, they doubled in terms of listings going under contract, selling, right, over the last month from December. So that is phenomenal. So you have a lot of that. I'm going to pull up the zip code map here for you guys, because I figured, hey, let's look at some of these. So a lot of this is Phoenix here. You can see right here. Okay, Phoenix. Where are these places? Phoenix. You have a couple Mesa, 85201 and 2010. You have some Gilbert, East Valley. Shout out to the East Valley. And some West Valley. Shout out to the West Valley, right? You got Glendale and Goodyear right here coming in strong, really strong. And then, of course, Sun Lakes. Sun Lakes is a retirement community. We'll hit that real quick. But let's show the map so you can see what's going on, right? Where are these areas where listings and contracts are doubling, right? Everything's up except 7 zip codes. We just heard that. but these are doubling, guys. This is amazing. All right. So you can see right now, most of these zip codes are like here's 85031, here's 85015, here's 2123. These are all part of those zip codes, right? Now, these areas in Phoenix that had this doubling of listings under contract, price point wise, low. Okay. So that is not shocking because we know the best performing price point, right? For all properties in the Phoenix area is the price point under $300,000, which is kind of hard to find, right? But it's come down. So that is not shocking at all. Now, in Gilbert, we have 8529795 right here. So that's a really good area. You have a lot of industry, all right off the 202 here. Not near as much as you do in I-10. Let's be clear about that, right? Not near as much, but you do have a good job market right through here, and of course, this is a very family friendly area. And what I think you're seeing here, guys, the reason why this part of Gilbert has done so well, I did not read an article on this. This is my guess, just knowing the marketplace, is a lot of people would prefer, excuse me, if they can, to be in Gilbert as opposed to Queen Creek, because, and then down here even further, that you can't see on the map, is Santan Valley. That's where the most affordable housing is on the East Valley. So now that prices have decreased over the past 6 months, decelerated, right? They can hop into the south little corner, the south east corner of Gilbert here, and get into Gilbert closer to the freeway, closer to access to things, maybe nicer houses, maybe not, but just more centralized. And whereas they couldn't afford that a year ago, right? They were pushed out to Queen Creek or Santan Valley. So I think that's why you're seeing a lot of that. Now, in Peoria, if we go back to that article, the Peoria zip code was 85382, and then Glendale 85306. So 82 and 06. Here's 06 right here for Glendale, and 85382 is right here. A lot of new development, right? It's on the cusp of Sun City, which is also a retirement community, Sun City. So you could have some people that maybe didn't want to be in Sun City, but they're retirees because it's close by Sun City, maybe, possibly. But you also have a lot of new construction right here too as well, and affordable housing. So that makes sense. And Sun Lakes is down here, south of Chandler. So that is doing a really good job. So guys, very much encouraging information, if you will, right? In terms of the demand activity for the Phoenix area. Now, let me show you this. I love this. I love this. I love this. This is an amazing market cycle, guys. We know the market is cyclical. It goes up, goes down, and it's going to be the same way until the end of time. This is the market cycle. But here, what the Cromford Report has done is they've attached different emotional states, right, to the market cycle, which I love, right? I think we all can relate to this to an extent. I mean, I can. Am I the only one? I hope not. But here we were. June, when the market started to turn, we had a little panic. Uh-oh, it's all decelerating. And then from July to October, capitulation, like, what am I going to do? This is happening. And then you hit despair. November, December, guys could despair. November, December in Phoenix were very, very slow, right? I mean, you had, in December, I believe you had about 4,400 homes in Maricopa County sell. In a good market, you're looking at, 9 to 10,000. So over 50%, right? And then January, skepticism as it starts to creep up, which it is. And if you don't believe me, again, I'll show you another chart because I'm big on these. Here you go. Look at this. This is 2023, this brown line right here. Okay. Look at that increase. Just marinate that for a second. Okay. So let's go back here. Skepticism, that's where we're at right now. And potentially we're merging into hope pretty soon once a general consensus of the consumer base out there believe, right, that, oh my goodness, it truly is actually going in the right direction, at least in demand, at least in transactions happening. We all know what follows that. And that's hopefully going to be some sort of stabilization and maybe even a little appreciation. But right now, here's where we stand, right? So let's go back to that chart. You can see right here, you're just increasing dramatically. In fact, there's a commentary on this that Cromford put out, which I want to highlight. And it's right here. I'm going to highlight it for you. Okay, let me start back here. The number of listings under contract rose from 5,400 to 7,800, an increase of 43%. This is by a wide margin the highest percentage increase we have ever measured from 1 month to the next. It shows us that buyers are getting used to interest rates around 6%. It helps a lot when sellers are willing to help them buy down their initial interest rate. That's happening too with through seller concessions, through negotiating those deals on the purchase contract, right? Pending listings under contract increased almost 40%, while UCB, which is pretty much the same for all intents and purposes, jumped over 50%. Pretty crazy. Then you can see the market cycle we're in, guys. So hope is right around the corner. According to this, hope is right around the corner. So we will hope to see that here, no pun intended, in February. All right. It is time to drop the skepticism and enter the hope stages. Okay, they're saying we're already there. In most market cycles, this diagram takes 3 to 5 years to pan out. However, we have moved from euphoria to hope in just 1 year. Euphoria, February, look at this, of 2022 right there. And now we are at hope in February 2021. Okay. I suppose this is the result of increased speed of communication, right? Social media, et cetera, et cetera. Listings are going under contract so quickly that the supply of new listings cannot keep up. Despite a much higher flow of new listings than we saw in December, we are heading back towards a supply-constrained market, and it's likely that prices will start to move higher within a short space of time. Asking prices are moving upwards quickly, and these are just a leading, or usually a leading indicator, guys. So if you're a buyer out there, I would jump in now. I would seriously consider about it if you can, right? Or if you're going to wait, you may be waiting a little bit longer, right? Now, this hump could be really quick potentially, right? But you're talking about usually a market, a year is quick. A year cycle is quick. February right here, euphoria, top to bottom. So if we go bottom to top, that could be a year. We go top to bottom again, that could be another year, right? Minimum, most likely. Potentially, some people think that maybe the market will crest right here in the summertime, depending on what the Fed does in their economy, and maybe it goes back down. But that'd be quick, guys, because that's only a 6-month top to bottom, which is like I said, you saw in her commentary, it usually takes 3 to 5 years to pan out. So if you're a buyer out there, there's a lot of evidence in Phoenix. Now, we're not talking Milwaukee, Wisconsin, right? Or Des Moines, Iowa. We're talking Phoenix, Arizona here, right? So if you're a buyer in Phoenix, Arizona, this is compelling evidence and information that it's probably a good time to sharpen your pencil, see what you qualify for, and get with a good real estate agent or advisor that can help you, make sure they navigate all the options when it comes to buying a house, right? There's a lot of different ways you can negotiate terms to be very favorable to you, right? So definitely let us know, DM us, call us, let us know if that's something of interest in talking more about. All right, so let's go to the gauges real quick. Phoenix 125 continues to increase and improve. Let's go to Fountain Hills. Fountain Hills is the one that actually I think went down a little bit, right? It's still very strong at 163. It leads the Valley right now in terms of their market index, but it's gone down a smidge. Okay, then let's go to East Valley, Gilbert, 108. It's continuing to go up. Look at that, 108, almost into a seller's market. And Chandler Cave Creek, is in a seller's market, Northeast Valley. Casa Grande, you're improving. You're down 71.6. God, by the way, Casa Grande is the far outskirts, right, of the valley. Let's check out Scottsdale. Let's go a little higher price point. Where are we at, Scottsdale? Oh, there you are. 127, coming in really strong. Paradise Valley, high price points. 159. Look at that, guys. So money is flowing into Arizona right now because it's snowing and cold. I think wasn't there a polar vortex like in Canada or something, or like the very northern part of the United States. Anyways, it's cold, snowing, snowstorms, right? I saw in Texas, I believe they had some sort of ice storm or something, right? So it's cold other places, guys. People are coming to Phoenix. It's been a little chilly here for Phoenix the last month or so, but it's still way warmer than most of the places across the country, right? By the way, if you live in one of those cold states and you're listening right now, you want to be brave enough to put your name in and where you're calling from or watching from, I should say. We'd love to just chat with you and see how you're doing, making sure you're hanging in there. All right. So listings under contract, guys, you saw this is the highest increase that they've ever recorded that they're aware of week over week, right? So that is just going gangbusters right now. And you can see the trend, guys. This is 2021 and 2022. Look, so if this is all going to trend, I mean, we're gonna pop here through about February, and then we're going to kind of maintain a really high pace through, what is that, week 18? So I'm going to guess that's somewhere around April or so. And it's gonna potentially do fairly well. Okay, let's pop over here to our average days on market, guys. Check this out. Average days on market in January, 78 days on market. These are for closed listings, properties that actually closed escrow. So there it's actually increasing still. So even though demand is increasing, it's a lag, it's going to increase. So I would expect this number to start to decrease over, the early part of February into March, right? But just want to give you the good, bad, ugly because just because the market's doing better now doesn't mean days on market just go down to two, right? You have some time, you have leverage if you're a buyer still to come in and based on the right situation, dictate some terms. Okay, so let's hop over to Cromford Report. I'm going to show you this, and you see that right here for sales, days on market are increasing. It went from 68 to 79. That coincides really well with what we just talked about. Active listings are going down. They're continuing to actually this went up. I'm sorry, they went down, 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 and this is the first month over month right here. Sorry, month over month that they actually increased. This is good though, guys. We need more inventory. You know how many buyers that we're working with right now are like, man, there's just nothing on the market. Well, it was 18,000, but if you're looking for something kind of specific, there can be sometimes not a whole lot, especially in the areas where you saw the gauges, right? Right here. Some of these areas that are more higher price point, there's less on the market in these areas than there are, let's say, in Casa Grande, where it's 71.6, or Buckeye, where it's 55.4. It's a buyer's market out there, right? So this is the average across the entire metroplex right here. All right. So it can be skewed because it's a general process here. But appreciation, 5.1% long term over price per square foot. And what's months? Let's go to pending listings. Look at this. Went from 36.57 last month to 51.09. So it is, like we talked about, listings under contract are going up to 7,800 as well. So it is just going gangbusters right now. Not compared to where it was a year ago when everything was on fire, but it's going well right now, guys. It is a stark improvement that we were all looking for, and we're getting it. Now let's hop over to interest rates. Okay, look at this, guys. 30-year fixed. It's under 6, 5.99. How about that, guys? 15 years at 5.17. The 5-1 arm, 6.12. Now, let's talk about that park there for just a second. You saw right here, the 5-1 arm is 6.12. The 30-year fix is 5.99. Now, does that make sense? No, it doesn't. Why? Guys, we had to talk about this with our real estate team just the other day because this is a fantastic indicator, right? What does that mean? Okay. ARMs, adjustable rate mortgages. They go up, they go down after the certain amount of time that you buy or what you choose. 5-1 is 5 years, right? So it's fixed for 5 years and it'll adjust after that if you don't refinance out of it. Well, because of that, typically ARMs are priced lower than a 30-year fixed, right? So maybe if the 30-year fixed was 5.99%, then the ARM would be, I don't know, let's call it a half point. If that's pretty common, right? It'd be 5.5. So why is the ARM priced more than a 30-year fixed? Somebody tell me. Because this is a big indicator, guys. If you're trying to get the crystal ball out, if I had a bald head, I'd be rubbing it right now. And you're trying to figure out what's going to happen to make the best financial decision for yourself here or your family, friends, loved ones in the future. This is one of the indicators you could look at because this is smart money. Smart money. These are economists. These are people that predict. Their whole full-time job is to predict things and look at how you price things so they don't lose money, right? Because these people are not in the business of losing money. And the reason why it's higher is because they are baking in to the fact, or I should say, maybe a better word is banking, right, on the fact that the rates are going to come down. Why? Because if they believe rates would stay the same, okay, and they believe rates would stay the same, and everything's going to be hunky dory and be stable for the next 6 months, let's say ish, then the ARM would be down, so that people would buy it because it's a adjustable rate mortgage. But if the big money, the smart money, the big banks believe that the rates are going to come down, like they're convinced of it, they're going to price that ARM higher because they don't want people doing ARMs. They want people buying the 30-year fix because if they buy the ARM, they know when rates come down in 6 months, 3 months, 9 months, whatever it may be, people will do what? Refinance. And if they refinance because there's no prepayment penalty, they refinance, that lender, that bank they don't lose money. They just don't make that much money because the borrower only held the note for just a few months. So they specifically price the ARM higher so that you will buy 30-year fixed because at least at 30-year fixed, they're going to make money over hopefully 30 years. Now, do very many people keep it 30 years? No, they refinance and whatnot, but they have a lot better chance of making money on a 30-year because someone might keep it for 5 years or 4 years or 10 years than they do on an ARM that they're going to be forced to refinance as soon as those rates drop. So, guys, that's a leading indicator that rates are most likely going to come down. This is good. This is good. Hopefully not very far because we don't want a crazy, market that goes the opposite way big time. But we would love to have a more stable market, right? T, what's going on? Under 6, yes, 5.99 on a 30-year fix. This is phenomenal. And Lori made a comment. Hey, Lori, how are you? Listening from cloudy Pennsylvania. By the way, 6 more weeks of winter. I can't even pronounce that name, but I know it's Groundhog. I know it's Groundhog Day, right? Phil saw his shadow. Maybe we should move to sunny Arizona. Yes, unequivocally. So I'm not too up on the groundhog stuff, but I'm assuming that means if he sees a shadow, 6 more weeks of winter, right? Oh yeah, by the way, if I read the whole thing twice, I'd get it. So thank you, Lori. But yes, I think you should move to Arizona, and everyone else in Pennsylvania should too. Just saying. And call us up. We'll help you out. All right. So let me share my screen and go back over here, guys. And then you have this article right here. It says Fed hikes the rates, mortgage rates drop. Here's how that works. Are you curious? Well, we're going to cover that just really quick. This is a bunch of mumbo jumbo, right? That we don't necessarily need to go through the whole thing. But what it's effectively saying is that the market has already baked this in. The market believed that the Fed was going to do this, do a 25 basis point hike of the rate, the federal funds rate, right here. So in doing so, it's already baked in. So it's not new news, right? But what's more important is the commentary that our wonderful what's his face, our wonderful Fed chair, right, was going to make after the rate hike came out or was announced. And the good news is that based upon the commentary from Jerome Powell, that's his name, the Fed chair is stating that basically they gave a hint that possibly rates, they're open to the possibility of potentially even cutting rates by the end of 2023. Here you go, right here. So I'm not making that up, okay? That's the Fed's best case scenario. Let's be clear about that. But that he left that door open so the markets go, oh my goodness, this is great news. And what happened to interest rates on mortgages? They dropped. So guys, you're under 6% now. This is good. This is good news. All right, let's cover some things that are happening in Arizona. All right. This is an article from the Phoenix Business Journal that we won't even bother because it says what happens if the Fed hikes rates past 5%. We're going to skip that one because I don't think it's going to happen. But if it does, what they're basically saying is that it probably will not be healthy for the economy, especially if inflation does start to come down a little bit. So most likely it won't happen. All right, Buckeye approves spending $80 million for water rights. Okay, so Buckeye, guys, is again the second largest town or city in the Phoenix Metroplex, just behind Phoenix, of course, when it comes to landmass. Population-wise, it's not even close, but it's huge for landmass, and so there's a lot of opportunity. That's why Funko Pop, right, is going out there for their manufacturing distribution facility, I should say, not manufacturing, and a lot of other businesses are as well. With that and all those jobs, you need housing. So housing is going to follow, and there's a lot of land for it, but water is an issue, not because there isn't any, but because who owns the water rights? How much are we going to pay for them? How do we transport or get the water to the place it needs to go? And all those questions are legitimate issues that need to be addressed, and they're in the process of doing so. So City of Buckeye approved purchasing $80 million worth of groundwater, and that is coming from a 1-acre property owned by Harquahala Valley Landowners LLC in the Far West Valley for its water rights. So guys, man, if you own water rights, that's the business to be in. Because if you would have owned these water rights on 1 acre of land, you would just been paid $80 million. Yeah, so I should have talked to my great-great-grandfather about that. And I don't know what he was doing, but he should have bought some land out there. These rights will allow Buckeye to withdraw 5,926 acre-feet of groundwater annually for 100 years. This is equivalent to the annual water use of nearly 17,800 homes in Arizona. On average, this is a good stat, 3 Arizona households use about 1 acre-foot of water per year. Okay, so this what they just bought for 80 million bucks, will give water for 100 years and supply 17,800 homes. So, guys, they have actuaries and really smart people doing the math on this, right? Their return on investment is going to be out a ways, clearly, on $80 million, but it's going to be profitable. Let's be clear on that. And all the testing to know that the water is going to be there and the supply is there for those 100 years has all been done. And so this is good for the city of Buckeye. They need that because they need more housing out there. Okay. All right, Vic, what's going on? Let's pause here. I'm planning to buy a house in. Oh, cool, Vic. Well, we'd love to help you out. I think it goes without saying we are a real estate brokerage, real estate team, Cook and Associates here. Please check us out, Cook and Associates Real Estate Advisors, and we'd love to help you out and answer any questions you have. Michael Watts, how you doing, Michael? Checking in from Chicago. My sister's in Chicago, Michael. I don't know what part of Chicago you live in, but I'd be curious to know. My sister's in Elmhurst, and she likes it out there. So, but she would rather be in Arizona. She would. No, seriously, she really would. But she's in Chicago for a host of reasons and making the most out of it, right? The approval of this purchase agreement. Let's going back to this article, guys. Was more than a year in the making, right? And it finally got done. So Buckeye is now setting themselves up to have a really, really good sustainable future here for residential living and, of course, commercial and companies, guys, because companies want to know that obviously they're not going to have to move headquarters or plants or whatever if they're going to invest millions into building and moving employees and so on and so forth out to this area. So, but how are they paying for this? They're paying this out of excise tax bonds, okay? And it'll be repaid to the city's general fund. So, taxes, there you go, right? Pretty much. By the way, Queen Creek, which is on the opposite side of the valley, also purchased water from the same area, the same basin, a little while ago, and they purchased 5,000 acre feet. Isn't that crazy? So they're going to somehow transport that water from Buckeye all the way to Queen Creek to use for their citizens, right, and their residents. So that's interesting. All right, anything else here? This is interesting. As of 2021, the city of Buckeye's water demand, here you go, was 10,316 acre feet, the city said in a recent statement, adding that Buckeye has adequate water resources to sustain projected growth for the next 15 to 20 years before this purchase. Okay, Buckeye relies mostly on groundwater and said it's aware of its need for additional resources. So interesting, right? Very interesting. It's an ongoing discussion, and to prove that even more, this article right here I'm going to show you is even more of the same. Okay, but let's hit this really quick. I mean, we could do a whole YouTube live just on groundwater, right, and the water issue. But groundwater models show West Valley has limited water resources. What's next for developers? Okay, again, it's all about West Valley, West Valley, West Valley. There's the water issue isn't as big in the East Valley for the most part, generally speaking, and of course, there's a lot more development currently going on in the West Valley. But did you know that on the East Valley, far East Valley, east of actually Mesa, there is a huge development project that's going to start taking place here. That I'm talking huge. The area of the landmass of that area is equal to, if not greater than, Chandler, Gilbert, and Mesa combined, right? And that's going to be residential and commercial, basically a whole nother suburb city, huge, right? So that's in the works as well on the East Valley. Water hasn't been as big of a talk out there, though. It's primarily in the West Valley here. So a report found that unmet demand, total unmet demand of 4.4 million acre feet, or about 1.4 trillion gallons of groundwater over a 100-year period. And so how will that impact everything? So the new governor, Katie Hobbs, ordered the release of long-awaited report, and here you go. We get some information from that report, guys. So here we go. Let's just hit some highlights. Currently, the biggest planned project west of Phoenix is the Howard Hughes Corporation. It's called Terravalis. Used to be called Douglas Ranch. They renamed it. They bought it. And they have broke ground October 28th. They're already rocking and rolling out there, guys. But there's no water. Well, there is. Okay. But they know it's going to take a while to develop this project. And so they're clearly betting on the fact that as they go through the process of building this whole out over the next probably 20 to 30 years, this project, commercial development too, there'll be the water issue will work itself out. And I don't think, just my opinion, that Howard Hughes Corporation, et cetera, is going to just blindfold roll the dice on that, right? Because that's so much money and time. I'm sure they have done their due diligence in conjunction with the state of Arizona, right, on this. But they are doing their first project of that community called Florio. The first phase has a 100-year certificate of assured water supply, which is required now for subdivisions with 6 lots or more, and it will support 7,000 homes. Wow, right? So, anyways, they love the location of the property. He says it's very ideal. They have an aquifer right below their own property, and the CAP canal runs through the property as well. So that's obviously very, very good for this development. So, but again, the reality is with all this short term good stuff, there's still, you're talking 100 years out. You got to figure out what in the world is going to happen with this water, right? So this is what this is all about, and we'll continue to update you on this as more information is developed. Okay, let's just hit a few more things here, guys. This is interesting. As you guys know, the iBuyers have slowed down dramatically and are losing all kinds of money. Chandler-based Offerpad Opendoor, the two biggest ones in the country, really, right? Because Redfin's out, Zillow's been out, and they lost multi-millions of dollars in doing so, but they still punted. They're gone. But Offerpad and Opendoor are still the big two players that are still hanging on. Offerpad just raised $90 million in a PP, private placement. And I'm going to show you they don't know what the money's going to go to. They said it's for working capital. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. But obviously, they had to cut 7% of their staff. And here are their losses. Check this out. Offerpad reported a net loss of $80 million in the third quarter of 2022. Guys, in just 3 months, they lost $80 million. Wow. Compared to a net loss of only $15.3 million in the third quarter of 2021. So in 2021, when the market was on fire, somehow they lost $15 million. I don't know. I don't understand that one, guys, but they managed to do it. And then the company also reported, but they did report in 2021 that they had on reserves $196 million in cash or cash equivalent. So they're well funded, but obviously they had 196 supposedly. They just lost 15 plus 80 is 95. So they might have somewhere around $100 million at their disposal, and then they raise this $90 million. Then they're going to restock their coffers, but people want to make money on their money. So at some point they have to perform. Now, this is interesting. Their stock just finally went up above $1 a share to $1.14 per share. And for a while, they're trading below $1 for 30 consecutive trading days, guys. And that's a no-no with the SEC. So they got it up somehow. But guys, when you raise $90 million, guess what's going to happen to the stock? It's going to go up, right? So anyways, that's okay. Hey, Hermberger, W. Okay, hold on, Hermberger. You got another one here. Hand pink waving. Awesome. I wanted to show the comments, guys. So I don't know if they go with that, but please let us know where you're calling from or you're watching from. I like Hermberger. All right. So let's go to the next thing, guys. This is the condo complex. This is in Roosevelt Row. This is down by the downtown area. Look at this thing. Cool. This is coming to Phoenix. You will like to see this. Here's the best thing about this project. Let me just be honest right now. Okay. Look at what this guy says. The developer. Right here. Right here. Where's it at? Right here. That Libenstein said he found the exact color palette for Mario Kart, and that became a defining factor of the building. That's cool, right? So it's going to be all these rainbow type colors, and the whole thing came off of the fact that he likes Mario Kart. So I mean, who doesn't, right? So that's pretty cool. But look at this thing. That thing is going to be awesome down in the downtown area. That they're going to start construction on that. They said I think in 2024. I don't think it's going to happen in 2023 because they're still trying to decide on who the general contractor is going to be. All right. So last but not least, we're going to hit the Super Bowl, guys. Love this. It's coming. It's in a week and a half. I can't wait to watch it on TV. I will not be going because my team's not in it, and I'm not going to pay that kind of money to go watch two teams that I don't really, care terribly for. But I have some buddies who are fans of both, and we are excited to watch. Right? I mean, those divisional playoffs. By the way, did you watch the Bengals and Chiefs game? What is going? Man, you can't help but go. What's the NFL trying to do there? Are they trying to get Kansas City in that game? Like I don't know, man. So that was interesting. Brenda, how you doing? From Oklahoma. Hey, thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. My best man at my wedding was Josh Brown, who actually was a kicker for the Giants and the Seahawks. And he's from Foyle, Oklahoma, little tiny town, Oklahoma. Home of the world's largest totem pole, by the way. Abby from Des Moines, Iowa. What's up, Abby? How you doing? Nick, do we know the price point of condos at Roosevelt Row? No, we don't. They're not set yet. Great question. They actually addressed that in the article. They don't have any pricing yet because they're not sure what it's going to where the market's going to be when that gets closer to being in the process of going vertical. They did say they have the parking is going to be a little bit of an issue. Well, not really. It was an issue because they can't apparently fit it underneath the building. So there is a parking garage just adjacent to it that they worked out a deal in which all the parking will be at that parking garage just right across the street, apparently. So that will be good for parking because it's tight. It's the downtown area. And oh, here we go. Herberger, that late hit on Mahomes. Yeah, yeah. That. See, that's the thing. Like, I want to sit there and go, that really wasn't that late, but it kind of was late. But I have an issue in that game more so with the replay of third down. Like they're getting ready to punt, and what in the world happened there, right? And then also get a replay, and then on top of it, you get a holding call on that replay down, which gave him a first down. I don't know. It was interesting, put it that way. Michael Watts, hey Michael, I believe Scottsdale is the best place to live in Arizona. No argument there. I love Scottsdale. There's a lot of great places, but Scottsdale is definitely up there, right? Definitely up there. And let's jump back over to Super Bowl, guys. But thank you for all the comments. I love this, right? Super Bowl will lead, to new economic opportunities for Arizona, guys. So what are the numbers? Let's just get right to it, right? The Greater Phoenix Economic Council, they assume that Phoenix is going to have the Super Bowl, will have an impact over $500 million. What's interesting and don't miss this, guys, with $2 million in community nonprofit grants. That is so cool, right? That what it does for all the nonprofits and charities out there that are helping the more unfortunate people that live in our community. But in 2015, this is interesting, it generated $719 million. So I think this is a guess at $500 million for this year. I'm not sure. They didn't say why they think it's going to be maybe lower, but hopefully it's not. Hopefully we can hit that $719 million revenue mark like we did in 2015 when the Super Bowl was here last, okay? So that's the Chamber of Commerce guy right there. But let's just check this out here, guys. If you're in town, check this out. I'm taking my kids there. We're going to go with some friends and their kids. My two boys love football, and they're going to we're going to go down here at one of these dates here. But hours of operation, this is at the Phoenix Convention Center. If you have a chance to go, you should go, especially if you have kids. I mean, shoot, I'm excited to go, and I'm not a kid. I mean, I'm kind of a big kid, I guess, right? But at heart. But here's the hours of operation, days they are doing it, and all kinds of fun things, guys. The NFL experience, the Super Bowl NFL experience in a climate-controlled area. Not that you really need it because it's beautiful here right now in Arizona. But here's all the games they're offering. 2-minute drills and 40-yard dashes and Hail Marys and all kinds of fun stuff, right? That they're offering for people who want to go just kind of feel like an NFL player for, 5 minutes. I don't know, right? Exhibits, the trophies of the NFC and AFC and, all kinds of evolution and history of the game, road to the championships, Hall of Fame stuff. And then they're having players as well sign autographs. Now, not players in the Super Bowl, just to be honest, but players that play for the NFL or past players that are popular. They're going to be there signing autographs. My kids are fired up about that, right? And then there's some frequently asked questions. So kids under 12 get in free. If you're an adult, it's $20, guys. So I would highly recommend to check that out. And they say this is the best, these 2 dates, the best ones to go to because it's a little more calm, right? Once you start getting in this week right here before the game, it gets a little nutty. So there you go. There's the ticket prices right there. And by the way, it's cheaper the first weekend too. So if you want to hit that up, if you're a local, I would recommend to do that. We are going to, if you see me there, give me a high five, right? It'll be fun. All right. So what's the Phoenix Business Journal really quick had to say about this, guys? NFL partners with Valley Metro. Oh, I want to put this on here because this is transportation, guys. Right here, here's the map I pulled up for you guys. This is the Phoenix Convention Center right here in downtown Phoenix, right here. Okay. And these are the routes of the light rail. So you can park at certain, there's like 17 different park and ride places in Mesa, Phoenix, and Tempe. Okay. You can park your car and the light rail will come pick you up. It's free all week long for the Super Bowl if you're going to go down to some of these events at the Phoenix Convention Center or at the Footprint Center, right, which is where the Phoenix Suns play. Okay. Opening night, you can see what's there, right? Some cool stuff. So there's the map of downtown Phoenix where all that's going on. And then headed back to, last but not least, the transportation, like we talked about, the light rail is free. And it's put on by conjunction of the Arizona Super Bowl host committee and money they raise and so on and so forth. But there's a picture of the light rail in Phoenix, right? It's interesting, right? The light rail only goes to like downtown Phoenix, and up to uptown a little bit, and of course over to Tempe and Mesa. But it's cool. It's cool. It just doesn't go throughout the whole valley, unfortunately. We got a few more comments here, guys. Let's see what we got going on. Nick, Let's see here. I've been looking at condos just south of Roosevelt Row, 11-story buildings with 90 units. The building has no parking. Good to know that Roosevelt Row will have parking. Yes, that's why we wanted to address that. It's very, very important because people kind of just like dismiss that. They want to do the cool, urban living where it's convenient, but then they figure out, there's no parking later on, and then half of them have to sell their car, right, and just Uber, I guess, right? Hermberger, Gilbert, Chandler versus Glendale. Which would you pick for a family looking for good schools and close to Asian restaurants? That's a fantastic question. Two opposite ends of the valley. Do you want West Valley? Do you want East Valley? Now, when it comes to schools, if you go and look at the ratings of schools in those two areas of the Phoenix metro area, you'll find that Gilbert and Chandler overall do have higher ratings for schools. So that being said, the proof's kind of the pudding there for the schools overall, and that's from elementary all the way up to high school. Apples to apples, Gilbert Chandler will be more highly rated there. Okay, and then close to Asian restaurants. Phoenix has really good cuisine. It's come a long, long ways. In terms of Asian cuisine, there are some good ones, at least decent ones, right? But good ones there are. But in terms of Glendale and Gilbert and Chandler, I would probably go with Gilbert Chandler for that as well. Glendale, if you're talking like authentic Mexican cuisine, I'd be closer to that Glendale area because there is some really good stuff over there for that. But hopefully that answers your question there as best as I can here in just this short time that we have. All right, here we go. Vic, Gilbert Chandler, if you want Asian restaurants, maybe Mesa. Thank you. So, Vic, we're on the same page. Absolutely. Thank you, guys. And Vic, thank you for answering or helping me answer the question for Herm because the reality is, like I said, I wish I knew everything, but I don't. But I know, enough to be dangerous. So thank you guys as always. We have gone way over time, and I appreciate all the comments, guys. And Herm, again, thanks for answering, guys. Absolutely. Thank you, Herm, as well. So, guys, I really appreciate you guys. Join us back. We'll be doing this every Thursday, right? Maybe one of these days we'll switch it up and maybe do like a Saturday or something, right? If it's more convenient for people on the weekend. I don't know. Maybe we'll experiment with that. But we'll keep it on Thursdays here for the foreseeable future. And we'll let you know on social media if for some reason we're going to go on a different day that week. So really appreciate you guys. And thank you for hanging in with me for this amount of time. It means a lot. And go Eagles, go Chiefs. I don't know who your team is, but someone's going to win. So, but go Arizona, right? Because that's the big winner in all this, right? The state of Arizona. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful week, and we'll talk to you soon.